Right now, you are looking at the most successful species in the history of this planet. 7 billion of us, on every continent, in every climate, from the frozen Arctic to the scorching Sahara. But here is the question nobody thinks to ask. Are we still evolving? And if we are, what are we evolving into? Most people assume evolution stopped, that modern medicine, modern food, modern comfort ended the process, that we defeated natural selection, that we are, somehow, the finished product. That assumption is wrong. Evolution never stopped. It just changed direction. Let's start with something happening right now. In your body, today, about 65% of the world's adults cannot properly digest milk. They are lactose intolerant. This is actually the original human condition. No adult mammal on Earth was designed to drink milk past infancy. But roughly 10,000 years ago, some humans began keeping cattle, and a mutation appeared, a mutation that kept the lactase enzyme active into adulthood. Suddenly, those humans had access to a rich, reliable calorie source that others could not use. They thrived. They reproduced. Their descendants spread across Europe and parts of Africa. Today, in Northern Europe, over 90% of people carry that mutation. That is evolution. Measurable, documented, recent. It happened in 10,000 years, which is nothing, which is barely a heartbeat in evolutionary time. So what is happening right now? What mutations are quietly spreading through the human population at this very moment? Scientists have identified several, and some of them will reshape what it means to be human. The first is in our eyes. For most of human history, the leading cause of death in young people was infectious disease, plague, smallpox, cholera. The Black Death alone killed 1/3 of Europe, but it didn't kill everyone. Some people survived, and researchers have discovered that many survivors shared specific immune gene variants that are now significantly more common in European populations than they were before the plague. The Black Death was not just a tragedy, it was a selection event. It quietly rewrote the genetic makeup of a continent. The second change is happening in our jaws. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans ate tough, raw, unprocessed food. Roots, nuts, raw meat. Food that required serious chewing. Our jaws were large. Our wisdom teeth fit perfectly. Then we discovered cooking. Then agriculture. Then processed food. Our food became softer. Our jaws became smaller. And now, wisdom teeth are vestigial evolutionary leftovers that no longer fit in a jaw that has shrunk over thousands of years. In some isolated populations, particularly in parts of Mexico and indigenous groups in the Pacific, researchers have found people who are simply born without wisdom teeth at all. No extraction needed, no impaction, just gone. That variant is spreading. In a few thousand years, wisdom teeth may be a thing of the past. The third change is stranger, and it is happening faster than any of the others. It is happening in our brains. In 2014, researchers studying modern skulls versus skulls from 30,000 years ago found something unexpected. The human brain has been getting smaller, not larger, smaller. Over the last 20,000 years, the average human brain has shrunk by roughly the size of a tennis ball. This sounds alarming. It is not, because brain size does not equal intelligence. What matters is efficiency, and a smaller, more efficient brain that uses less energy may actually be an advantage in a world where raw survival instinct matters less than social cooperation. But here is where it gets genuinely strange. Some evolutionary biologists argue that we are no longer being shaped primarily by the natural world. We are being shaped by each other, by our cities, by our social structures, by the environments we have built for ourselves. And those environments are changing faster than any environment in the history of life on Earth. Think about what modern life selects for. Not physical strength, not raw aggression, not the ability to run fast or fight hard. Modern life selects for the ability to sit still, to follow instructions, to collaborate, to navigate complex social hierarchies, to manage anxiety in a world of infinite information. The traits that help you survive today are not the traits that helped your ancestors survive on the African savanna, and evolution is noticing. In 2016, researchers at the University of Edinburgh studied the genetics of over 600,000 people. They identified traits that are currently under positive selection in modern human populations. In other words, traits that are spreading right now. The results were surprising. People who carried genes associated with higher educational attainment are having fewer children. People who carry genes linked to higher risk of heart disease are declining in frequency. And people who start families slightly later in life are becoming more common. Because in modern societies, delayed reproduction often correlates with greater resources and greater survival rates for offspring. Evolution is happening. It just looks nothing like what we imagined. Now let's go further. Let's go 10,000 years into the future. What does a human actually look like? Biologists are careful here because prediction is hard, but the trends point in some clear directions. First, skin color will continue to blend. As human populations continue to migrate and mix, the extreme variations in skin tone that developed over thousands of years of geographic isolation will gradually converge. Not disappear. Converge. The world's population is more connected than at any point in human history. And that connectivity is genetic. Second, we may grow taller. Average human height has increased dramatically in just 150 years, almost entirely due to better nutrition. But there is also a genetic component. Taller individuals in modern societies tend to have slightly more reproductive success. That signal, compounded over thousands of years, may produce humans significantly taller than we are today. Third, and this is the one that should stop you, we may split. Not metaphorically, literally. If humanity establishes permanent colonies on Mars, on the moon, in deep space, those populations will be exposed to completely different environments. Different gravity, different radiation, different selection pressures. Give it 50,000 years of reproductive isolation, and you may have two populations that can no longer interbreed. Two species, both descended from the same ancestors who are alive right now. You, your neighbors, the people on your street. This has happened before. It is how we got here. Our ancestors and chimpanzees share a common ancestor that lived roughly 6 million years ago. 6 million years of separation produced two entirely different species. One of them built cities. One of them did not. Here is what is almost impossible to grasp. The humans who existed 300,000 years ago were not meaningfully different from us. Same brain size, same body, same capacity for language, for art, for love, for grief. If you put one of them in modern clothes on a modern street, nobody would look twice. But 300,000 years from now, that version of a human may look at us the way we look at our most distant ancestors. With recognition, but also with distance. Evolution is not a story that ended. It is a story that never ends. You are not the destination. You are a chapter, and the next chapter has already begun. You just cannot read it yet.